Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my sacred space. I am here to share day 19 for this FreQSpeak community and for myself, of course. This is why I'm doing this. Is for me because I was guided to. So day 19 of 111 days of sharing my real, raw, authentic frequency and energy with you, the collective. The beautiful souls out there that are meant to receive this video. All right, so I'm here in my PJs. You get a lot of my videos are going to be in PJs or sweats or hoodies. They're going to be comfort because comfort brings me joy. It brings me bliss at this point. So lots of comfort and joy brings me bliss. So I'm going to probably talk about some stuff that happened today already, and it's 11:20. Here on November the 29th, 2025. But again, all videos that you receive are timeless, whether we say that or not. Source, your higher self, your team will present those in your field, as I say, when the time is right. To receive the messages, the signs, the synchronicities, the key codes, the information, or just to receive the frequency and energy from the elementals that join me here in my home, the plants, the light codes that stream into my home on cloudy days, which has been amazing. Whatever you are meant to receive, you'll receive it in perfect timing, and you'll receive it in the right amount and the perfect dose of the medicine that you are meant to receive. So we are medicine for each other. 1444. 144. Thank you, Source. All right, so I'm going to share what happened today. I just got back from going out into the wild, which I joke about, and I'll share if I will try to do my best to remember everything that's taken place. 2:00 on the clock, 2:02. So codes, signs, synchronicities, key codes, and then maybe you can resonate with some of the information that I've been guided to share. And then I'm also guided to share some maybe movie options, whether that means things that drop into my awareness, some of my faves, but also I revisit because I see them in a completely different light each time I watch them. Just like if you rewatch videos, or if you're called to rewatch videos that you see here online, whether it's channelers, tarot reading, whatever, you're going to receive the information differently each time because you are constantly shifting and changing and jumping timelines, okay? So just know that, all right? So if you're called to rewatch stuff, re-listen to stuff, whether it's meditations, light language, and all of that, because you're going to receive it in a completely different way in that now present moment as that now present you. Okay. All right. So it is tea time again. All right. I'm not a fan of what this one says because it's, we're always, us empaths and light workers, we're always trying to fix other people or help other people without helping ourselves first. But I'm going to read it anyways. It says, let your need be to help those in need. So yes, we want to help those in need, but we don't want to do that by forcing, pushing, proving, all of that. So how do we help people in need? By embodying our raw, real, authentic selves, holding our pillar of light in our presence, and not trying to prove, not trying to chase, not trying to convince. Thank you, Spirit. Of that. So that's how we help people. We don't help people because we're trying to fix them, right? We're always the fixers. Like, if you know, we come from a line of fixers. We want to fix everything, right? Because a lot of things in us were broken and we didn't have that support. So again, how do we do that? We do that by doing the healing work, doing the shadow work, and just constantly just embodying your real, raw, authentic self every single day. Quit shrinking, quit hiding, quit pretending. If you got something to say, say it. But again, say it with love, gentle strength, and not because you're trying to get a result out of it. So I've got my candles lit, my plants, my poinsettia. I got some incense going. I got my tea. I'm also going to read the tea from yesterday because I put that in my journal because it was a keeper. All right. So I have a lot of rituals that I didn't realize. So this here is my cinnamon and clove bud and tangerine spray that I made. So it's air freshener. It's good for all sorts of stuff. I use a lot of essential oils in my home. So maybe that's a sign that maybe you need to use more essential oils for your journey or it's just a sign that you already use essential oils and that this message is for you. So welcome. My name is Tanya. I have a history of health and wellness, holistic health and wellness coaching, past personal trainer, and recently this year certified in Holy Fire Reiki, fire, sign and synchronicity and key code for the December coming up. So pay attention to the fire signs, the year of the fire horse, which is next year. And so be aware of the fire signs that are going to be coming in your awareness if they have not already. The fire symbolism has already, that elemental spirit has already been presented in my space for a while now. But all right, so what happened? So today's I got our journal a lot already. No. All right. So it is November 29th, right? So yesterday I got this mixed up. So yesterday, Saturn went direct after 137 days. That equaled 11. No coincidence. Okay. And then I kind of goofed up on the date. So yesterday equaled 11:10. So maybe you're seeing lots of 11s, 1111s, 10s, 1010. Those are sign synchronicity and key codes. I saw so many 11s and 10s today out in the wild, and on license plates and on receipts. So whether it added up to like the number 10 or added up to the number 11, like 811 or 911, or just those are some examples where it's not specifically just directly, that my brain now is just adding numbers up because that's what my higher self is using to activate those key codes in that now present moment that I, again, designed myself to be. Boop, boop, boop. All right, so after this, I'm going to take a sacred bath with some Epsom salts and whatever essential oil calls to me in that now present moment. And then I'm going to probably hang out on the sofa and watch some movies. All right, so watched The Family Stone, so maybe that'll resonate with that particular character, the Family Stone, where she was, you know, being introduced into a family of people being their real, raw, authentic self, and she was coming and trying to pretend something that she wasn't. But so maybe that resonates. If you haven't seen it, it's an amazing movie. I watch it every season, and called to watch my holiday movies a little earlier than I would normally do. So the Family Stone. So authenticity for sure was definitely a presence in there. Fly your freak flag. So I love that part where it's just fly your freak flag. You've heard Courtney and Zero say that if you're in the frequency family of the Divinely Aligned Collective in any way, shape, or form, you've heard them say fly your freak flag, your frequency flag, fly it. Let's see here. So stop trying. It's exhausting. So that was like, there was a little part where he was, after he had said that to her, stop trying, it's exhausting. So that's again what we need to quit trying and just be, embody and just be. Okay, stop trying, it's exhausting. So relax, try it. All right. And then the other thing that was getting this is joy codes that keep coming up, this joy every day. And so repeat the sounding joy. So repeat the sounding joy, whether it's just repeat the sounding joy or the song, Joy to the World, okay? Could have some resonance. It could be a key code or a sign in synchronicity that this message is for you, or that you are going to also hear it or see that or experience that in another message, and that's just your key code to know that that message is for you, if that makes sense, okay? Because remember, our higher selves key coded us, encoded us perfectly with all these little pieces of puzzles, you know, like puzzle pieces versus breadcrumbs. Honestly, breadcrumbs, you can do that way. All these little pieces, all these puzzles. And guess what? I hate doing puzzles. I hate puzzles. I just, in this lifetime, I'm not a puzzle person. But my puzzles, when they fit, I'm like, thank you. I give gratitude, appreciation in that present moment. Okay. So this morning, okay. Let me go to this morning, jump to, because I was kind of going from yesterday. So my meditation was, I went and re-listened to the soul session, number 2, Zero and Courtney's meditation. All right. And that was good. I was listening to another channeled message this morning, and again, I had to stop a few times because every time there was words or sentences that it brought and activated a remembrance of, be the exception and not the rule. And I thought, what movie is that from? What movie is that from? It's a movie I've seen all the time. Be the exception and not the rule. So the movie that it's associated with is He's Just Not That Into You. So be the exception and not the rule is just in general. We want to be the exception, not the rule. We don't want to follow standard protocol. That's not what we're here for. We're here to change and evolve and be the way showers, be the trailblazers, okay? Or the movie might be a reference to you to watch as well. Maybe there's some key codes in there for you as well. So I had a call from my significant partner at 8:23 a.m. So where he was at when he called, it was 1:23 p.m., okay? So in this conversation, we were just talking, and he called me instead of voice videoed me, and then we, through our conversation, I was just talking about, I thought in my meditation this morning, I wonder if anyone else meditates in the dark because of my third eye. It's completely dark, like mask, no mask. It's like I see nothing. I said, sometimes I see some sparks of light if I adjust my, squint or squeeze my eyes, looking up into my third eye. But I train in the dark, literally. And I thought to myself in that moment, because that's been the most frustrating part with my meditation, is surrendering to that void, that darkness, that black hole, that I wonder if anyone else experiences. And if you do, please comment below. I'd be really curious, because it's a very small percentage of us that see like nothing, most of the time. Okay, if I do get images, it's really hard to describe how those come through. It's more like a knowing than a visual. And then, so I mentioned that in our conversation, and that, because his third eye is completely open. It's like 5D IMAX type version. And 12:02 on the clock. So in that conversation, he just mentioned that something. I know I'd mentioned that I went to my kiddo, where he's the light. He's been my light in the dark during this journey. Just the way he's a deep empath. He is a starseed, and he just responds. There's no words. So I said, he is the light in my darkness at times. But I said, he's also the light in the darkness of the spaces he is in. School's a big one. So he is the light in the darkness. Okay. And then what triggered that is he thought that was really funny. And I said, what's wrong? He goes, well, I just walked into my space, which I normally don't do. His higher self had him restructure his protocol for today on how he went about his walk home and this part. He goes, I normally do this, and instead I just went straight in because it was so hot, and because he's in Sierra Leone, Africa, and that might be relevant for somebody, and went to turn the air conditioner on, but he did it in the dark. And then as I'm talking about this light in the dark, he walks into a dark space to turn the air conditioner on, but he couldn't really see anything. So he did something to get, I don't know if he cracked the door or moved the curtain so he could have just a little bit of light. So remember, one candle can light up a space, a very big space. Okay. So, and he goes, what are you doing in my head? No, he didn't say that yet. So we did that, and we laughed that giggle. And then I continued to say, well, it's just kind of like changing your routine up just a little bit, whether it's parking in a different place, going to a different store, taking a different route, going left instead of right. And I said, you can jump timelines or hop timelines. So remember, in that every now present moment, in that choice point, it could be a big choice point or just a small choice point. He goes, get out of my head. And I laughed. I said, what? He goes, well, it's funny you say that. No, well, no, not probably 14:04 on the clock. And I said, why? What's up? He goes, he normally does a loop, and he goes the same way to work and the same way back work. But instead he went in the opposite direction. After I just said that about taking this instead of this. If you normally do this instead. So that was awesome that he just laughed. I said, no, I'm not in your head. I said, I'm very psychic. And number two, I said, our higher selves are having fun right now. Our higher selves coordinated everything as they do. And it's fascinating if you pay attention to all of this. And he's becoming more aware of this. And they're now presenting this in our physical present moment while we're physically talking to each other, and these experiences and these things being said and or done in actions. Hopefully that makes sense to somebody. So on that note, after that conversation, and I was listening to this channeled message, and I got, being the exception, not the rule. And then some other things came up, and then so it's like, I thought, the Seinfeld episode. So if you know Seinfeld, it's like do the opposite, where George goes, he's going to do everything in the opposite. And I noted that. So maybe everyone just needs to, instead of going to Kroger, go to Myers. Instead of going left, go right. And it doesn't matter if it takes you longer or shorter, you know, do the opposite of what you normally do. And I thought that was brilliant, because I've been doing that most of this year, like just doing the opposite or just going in a calling of a different direction. And I was like, oh. So if you haven't seen that episode, maybe check it out, or just start doing the opposite. If it's one thing during the day, if you normally get up and you make your coffee first and you do something second, well, no, do this first and then do this. Does that make sense? All right. So the other things, just some little blips that I pulled out of this message, a couple of different channel messages that I listened to, was ocean in the shallow parts. So let's go deeper. Let's see what's out there. So again, instead of staying in that shallow end because it's safe and you know what's going to happen, instead of let's just take a chance. Let's, again, taking the leap of faith like the Fool card. Let's go deeper. Let's see what happens. Okay. So be the one who shatters the walls. So be the one who is not willing to stay in the box or stay in a small container, or like the lobster. Thank you, Source, that Courtney mentioned the other day. Be the one who's willing to go out of those small spaces. Go leave that. Break the glass wall. Break your shell. And yes, you're going to be soft. You're going to be vulnerable. But then bigger and better is going to be there. You're going to have okay? So be the one who is not willing to stay in the box or stay in the small container. So my entire life, yes, there's been times where I stay in the small, comfy space. Believe me. But there's many times where I'm constantly shattering the glass walls. I'm constantly trying to get out of that small container because I've outgrown it. I'm trying to get out of that box because I'm just not going to hang out there and conform with the herd. I'm just not going to do it. That's my entire life. And most of us that are here now, first wavers, trailblazers, this is what we've been doing our entire lives. Okay, so be the one who shatters the walls, be the one who continues to expand and grow. So continuing to expand and grow because you become so big, your light, your aura becomes so big that you cannot fit into those tight clothes. Thank you, Source Courtney. Mentioned that, fitting into those tight clothes that you've outgrown. You're too vast, you're too big for that. Remember, our souls are so vast that it's really hard for them to squeeze into these tiny little avatars. Okay? All right, so don't expect that the container is all that there is. So don't expect that this small container you put yourself in, or this box that you put yourself in, know that there's more than out there than this little space, okay? For some reason that just dropped in is the movie Ants, I think, where he goes out into the world like their universe is just this, and this is how they always do things all the time. So Ants, maybe need the movie Ants 1818 on the clock might be relevant to some people, but that just dropped in talking about the small container. And I think I've only seen the movie once or twice, and it was years ago, where you just go out and explore. You don't know you have no idea what's going to be out in the wild beyond what this is. Okay. So maybe that makes sense to somebody. Thank you. So like I said, a lot of 10s and 11s, 111, so which is pretty funny because my partner and I share a sacred twin soul journey. I didn't realize until this year. I was not aware of this until this year. And I'm pretty adamant that that's what it is, that we share a twin soul journey activation. Again, it's not the pink fluffy stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's an amazing connection. And that's why those conversations, it's not that I'm in your head, you're in my head. We're just deeply connected, right? We have a shared energy and frequency. We have one soul in two bodies. Okay. And so the call was 11 minutes, and less than 5 minutes later, I looked at something and I saw 11 again. So it's at 1111, which is a vast variety of meanings and definitions, but it's definitely associated with the twin soul journey, the twin soul activation, the twin soul awakening is what I meant to say. Thank you. So 1344 could be a number for you. 17 is also showing up. I'm going to just rattle a couple numbers. They might be key codes for you. 0202, which I thought was funny. I've never seen 0202 on a license plate. 881, 38, 8881. 5,000, 28, which equals 10. So my receipts today, the change, they added up to 10 or 11, okay? So the other movies that dropped in was The Princess Bride. I wrote guide. Princess Guide. It's supposed to be Princess Bride. So, no coincidences. The Holiday. So I'm going to watch that movie today. So The Holiday. I already mentioned The Family Stone. Quantum choice points. I know that you always have choice points, but then there's big quantum choice points that might be relevant. We are cosmic trailblazers, creating the blueprints for the future generation. So I heard a message, and that's what kind of came out and down to me was, we are cosmic trailblazers creating the blueprints that don't exist. Remember, we're creating things that don't exist. We're creating these blueprints for the future generations, for those that are waking up after us, okay? So I'm going to take a quick drink. I'm going to pull, grab 2 decks, and I think I'm going to pull from the Earth Magic deck, just one card, and then I'm going to respond to a text I got. Powers on the bottom of the deck. So lightning power. Again, I've been getting a lot of signs and synchronicities that we're going to get massive, fast upgrades or things coming in quickly, but I associate this more of like another awakening. Awakening those dormant gifts and abilities, those things that are coming up to be remembered, to be turned back on, to come online so they can be part of what we are here to do to help serve the collective. And all right, so got those waves and power. And that's it. That's all. That's all she wrote. I'm just guided to read power. That's all sources given us on that one. So lightning might be relevant, the ocean, the waves, the chaos, the rocks, the wind. Just when you think that you're in the storm, you're in the eye of the storm, that's where all that change is taking place all of around you, which feels chaotic, but in that chaos, there's bliss. There's bliss, there's bliss, there's bliss, power. And then I will probably either do another card pull. I'll probably do a tarot pull with some oracles. Lightning. And then I'll do that later, though. I'll do that after this video. And I'm struggling on finding the reading on this. Okay, get me my handy dandy glasses. Blues Clues. Every time I say that, Blues Clues might be something. Key code for you. Maybe you're watching Blues Clues with your kids right now. I don't know, your grandkids. We see power all around us. It is in the mountains, the meadows, the clouds. In fact, it is in every expression of nature, and you are nature. Yet there isn't a more dramatic display of nature's power than lightning. It electrifies, it splits the atmosphere, such that when the heated air comes rushing together, we hear thunder, the applause of the gods, lowercase g. Lightning sharpens our Lightning sharpens Lightning sharpens our senses and triggers fear and awe. We see these forked beams of brilliant light jump from sky to sky, and our instinctual vigilance is triggered in anticipation of the roar that follows, the thunder. We naturally seek shelter from the storm, or are grateful that there are already being sheltered, that we are already being sheltered, and or are grateful that we are already being sheltered. This demonstration of power of creation is yet another way to remind us that we are not in control of the natural world. We are witnesses, nature's power with open hearts and minds. We see that it is neither destructive nor constructive. It simply just is. The power available to you, the force of life itself, it's neutral. It is neither inherently good nor bad. It is how you utilize it when you determine whether it is ultimately harmful or life-giving. And congruent with the will of spirit that pulses through you, what is required is awareness of your intention, your values, and your willingness to act on them under the particular circumstances of your inquiry. Although you may see yourself as using this power for good, do not allow yourself to get caught up in the duality of good versus evil, good versus bad. all of that nonsense and bullshit. In determining your decision or actions, through prayer or ceremony, you can tap into this spiritual force by paying close attention to Spirit's prompting. Your choices will ultimately be revealed to you, one that is beyond your typical perspective. From there, you can continue to assess the divine power that is a very force driving the universe. So on that note, I'm going to let you go. I am guided to probably do another video at some point on how I follow my higher self and source's guidance throughout the day, using today's example. We'll see if that comes up, but look for it. Love you guys. Have a great day.